This is a surfboard. And to start off, I would like to tell you a little bit about a surfboard. This is the leash, and these are the fins. Have I missed anything? Yes, a track pad. Ever since I was little, I can remember my dad showing me videos of the WSL, which for people who don't know, is the World Surfing League. One of the most memorable heats for me was the 2016 Tahiti final in Tahupu. John Florence versus Kelly Slater. It was a constant back and forth. It is the greatest heat ever in surfing history. I was 7 years old watching it, and ever since then, surfing has always fascinated me. After living in China for 10 years, I moved to Bali and started surfing myself. But I only started going frequently about a year ago. I can remember my first wave in Kudeta, standing up and riding that wave right to the end. It was the greatest feeling I have ever felt, and from that moment on, I knew that surfing is my passion. Skipping forward to 2023, I was just sitting in my house watching a movie when I looked at my surfboard and saw the back of my track pad was just ripped off. So I thought to myself, where is that piece? It's probably at the bottom of a reef somewhere. I found myself wondering, how good can a piece of rubber be on the bottom of the ocean? And I thought, what if I could make track pads a little bit more sustainable? Or something that at least used to be something else, that would already make a small difference. I became curious of track pads' environmental impacts, and here is some of what I found. A track pad's main purpose is to provide extra grip to the surfer's back foot, especially during high-speed maneuvers and critical turns. Track pads come in various shapes and sizes and are usually made out of EVA foam. EVA foam, the production and combustion of EVA foam involves petrochemicals. The petrochemicals contribute to the formation of smog, acid rain, and respiratory problems with humans and animals. The combustion also release greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and methane that get released into the atmosphere and contribute to climate change and global warming. There's been a conscious trend in surfing to move towards limiting the environmental impact of the sport, and I hope that my project can contribute to this trend. My Shark Tank idea in 2023 was to make a track pad out of tires. But back then, I was too lazy, so I decided to pursue another project. This idea came back to me in term 2 when Pac Dan told me that he thought it would be a good idea to bring it back as my quest. My initial idea was to simply get some tires from the carpenter's area and cut them and sand them into the shape of a track pad. And I thought it was a great idea until I actually got in the iHub and cut one open. And little did I know that the whole inside of a tire is lined with metal wire, making it insanely hard to cut and essentially do anything with without using machinery. Looking back at this, I was pretty dumb because tires are made to not rip or cut easily, especially the big car tires that I used. So I went outside to Kimbali and found these big rolls of foam, and I made some track pads out of them. It actually wasn't too bad, but I knew that this product was not going to be a real option for a surfboard. A few days later, my mom showed me this little coaster made from tires. And on the back of it, it said Indosol. Indosol is a recycled tire footwear company based in Bali. Inspired by that little coaster, we decided to reach out to Kai from Indosol to arrange a meeting. When he agreed to the meeting, I was extremely skeptical and honestly quite nervous. But after talking to him, he gave me lots of insights and gave me the great idea to contact Palm Bay Bali. Palm Bay Bali is a surf shop actively involved in sustainable surf solutions. This is when I met Dougie, the owner. And I arranged a meeting with him and asked if I could have used his molds and the recycled flip-flop material made from Sungai Watch to make the track pads that I had in mind. This is a high-level collaboration at its finest. Dougie told me that I had the green light from him to use the molds, and we had the special foam material from Indosul in cooperation with Sungai Watch, made from recycled flip-flops, pressed into one single sheet of foam to make the track pads. When it came out, it looked pretty promising. But because of the foam, it was too brittle and easy to rip. The track pad is right there. I decided not to surf it because if I surfed it, how would I be any different from the people who see trash on the sidewalk or on the ocean and just leave it there, or even add more to the pile? After getting two new foams from Kai, one was 100% recycled, and another one was 30% recycled EVA, 30% natural rubber, and 40% new EVA foam. We got back into the molding room and put them both in the machine. When it came out, we realized that the wavy texture that we put in for the 100% foam wasn't good because the little pieces would just pop off. And the 30% was simply too thick to work as an actual pad. Okay. Although I didn't achieve what I set out to achieve, every experiment that I made was a stepping stone to the next. I don't see them as failures. I see them as valuable experiences that will lead me forward in my research. This is how the pieces are now, and this is how we want them to be, which is a finely grinded version of the flip-flops. To wrap it all up, I would like to end with a quote. Whenever you find yourself doubting how far you can go, just remember how far you have come. I would like to thank Ibu Angie for always leaving helpful comments on my speech. I would like to thank my parents. I'd like to thank my parents for bringing me everywhere and always supporting me. And I would like to thank Pak Dan for not only giving me this idea, but for also being my speech mentor and my quest advisor. I would also like to thank Milan and Kurt for practicing with me, and and Eva for coming to my house every night and reviewing my speech with me patiently. And a big thank you to Kai and Dougie, because if it weren't for them, this whole project would have never worked out.